Hi everybody, we're just going to talk a wee bit more about buying properties today, and I'm really making this video for my children who have got to that stage in life where they are about to either rent or hopefully buy their first property. And I would just urge anyone who is at that stage just to bear in mind a few things. Don't be pressurised. There are plenty of houses out there. The right one will come along for you at the right time. So, you've made your wish list, you have narrowed down your area, you've got a short list of properties that you want to go and view. What do? I would try and find these properties on Google Map and go and do a drive-by. And the reason I would do that is if you do a drive-by on, say, a weekday, like a Tuesday during the day, it's going to look very, very different from what it's going to look like on a Friday night or on a holiday. Again, looking at a property in the summer, it's going to look very different than it's going to look on a really crappy day in November when it's pouring with rain. So before we go any further, I just want to ask if you would take 2 minutes of your time and just like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much. So what you need to take with you when you go and do your drive-by? A piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. Make some notes. Is the street full of parked cars? Does everyone have a parking place? Are there kids playing out? What kind of people are walking around? Does it look like the kind of area that you want to live in? Now, obviously, it's different if you're going to buy an apartment, and you're in a busy area, you're going to have people visiting there if there's shops or bars or whatever. But use your judgment. You're not an idiot. You're about to buy a house. You need to be clear on the kind of area that you're going to and whether it suits you. So in the country, you're looking at properties round about it. Is it an affluent area? Is it a really run down area? You know, you've got to take these things into consideration, especially in the property. In the country, if you're looking at a country property, what kind of state's the road in? Is it a tarmac or a surfaced road, or is it a grass track? These things are going to matter at different times of the year to you. So, you know, have a look around and see what's what. Okay, so imagine you're outside one of your properties, you haven't got an appointment to view, you're just sitting there maybe across the street having a wee look. What kind of state's the garden in? Is it neat and tidy? A person who keeps their garden neat and tidy probably keeps their house neat and tidy. If anything's needing fixed inside the house, they probably do it. If the garden's a bit of a mess, do you get a gate hanging off the hinge? I'd be asking myself how much maintenance they actually do to that house, but you can look and see things for yourself without even going in for a viewing. So, pair of binoculars in the car. Go further back, get out your car, have a good look at the roof. Are the gutters full of grass and trees and things? Are the slates or the tiles or the shingles or whatever the roof covering is made of, does it look in good nick? Is it clean? Is it obvious without cracks? If there's a chimney, does it look in good repair? Is there a chimney pot? These are the kind of things that you're looking at. Is there an aerial? Is there a satellite dish? Have a look at the front of the property. You can tell an awful lot from the outside finish, the render or the bricks or whatever the house is finished in on the outside walls. Just have a look and see how good a nick it is in. You can see if there's a garage there. If you're clever and you can manage to drive round at the back of the property, which you can do normally in residential areas, Again, get your binoculars out and have a look at the back of the roof, at the windows, the windowsills. What kind of glazing is it? Is it double glazed? Do the units look as if they're sound, or do they look as if they're popped? There's tons of things you can have a look for. Even at the very first, when you're sitting there outside a property that you haven't arranged to view, you can maybe make that decision whether it's worth your while actually getting in there. So take that time, try and find it on Google Maps, try and find the street view, go and have a look. Sometimes estate agents and property sellers will put an older looking photograph that the house looks at its best, or the apartment looks at its best. Go and have a look at it. You can tell an awful lot. Again, is there trees? Any trees near to a house? I would be a wee bit worried about that. Some trees grow very tall. If it's a residential garden, a small normal size postage stamp garden, and they've got a silver birch growing in the front, that's an issue, because they grow 30, 40 feet high, and the roots will be going underneath that house and undermining it. The roots will also be going towards any drains, and they could give you problems with the drainage later on. So just bear these kind of things in mind. When you get the details of a property, if it's an online search that you're doing and it says download details, just have a look and see what you can do. You know, if it's a new build, you might have restrictions on parking a caravan or a motorhome or a commercial vehicle in the driveway. You might have a ban on building any fences or walls around that house. You need to check these things out. So that's on the outside. What would I be telling my children? How can you tell if it's got central heating? Well, if it's got gas central heating, you will probably see a vent or a gas supply box at the front, a meter box that the guy can come and take a meter reading. So that will tell you there's a gas supply, and that will give you a fair indication that there is actually gas central heating in that house. If there's a chimney, you maybe have the question to ask, and you can write that down on your bit of paper, about whether there is a working chimney or whether it's a gas supply inside the chimney. It will give you further questions to ask. So just have a look on the outside and give it the once over. If it's wooden windows, do they need repainting? Why are they wooden windows? Why haven't they double glazed it? Mentally think in your head how much that's going to cost you to double glaze that whole property, because you're talking all the windows and the front and back door as well, which will save you money, look better, raise the value of your property, but will be a bigger cost for you as the purchaser going into that property. Lots of things to think about.